There is enough treachery, hatred, violence, absurdity in the average human being to supply any given army on any given day. And the best at murder are those who preach against it, and the best at hate are those who preach love, and the best at war, finally, are those who preach peace. Those who preach God need God. Those who preach peace do not have peace. Those who preach peace do not have love. Beware the preachers. Beware the knowers. They are afraid of what they do not know. Beware those quick to praise, for they need praise in return. Beware those who seek constant crowds, for they are nothing alone. Beware the average man, the average woman. Beware their love. Their love is average, seeks average. But there is genius in their hatred. There is enough genius in their hatred to kill you, to kill anybody. Not wanting solitude, not understanding solitude, they will attempt to destroy anything that differs from their own. Not being able to create art, they will not understand art. They will consider their failure as creators only as a failure of the world. Not being able to love fully, they will believe your love incomplete. And then they will hate you. And their hatred will be perfect, like a shining diamond, like a knife, like a mountain. Like a tiger, like hemlock. Their finest art. There's a bluebird in my heart that wants to get out, but I'm too tough for him. I say, stay in there. I'm not going to let anybody see you. There's a bluebird in my heart that wants to get out, but I pour whiskey on him and inhale cigarette smoke and on the whores and the bartenders and the grocery clerks. Never know that he's in there. There's a bluebird in my heart that wants to get out, but I'm too tough for him. I say, stay down. Do you want to mess me up? Do you want to screw up the works? Do you want to blow my book sales in Europe? There's a bluebird in my heart that wants to get out, but I'm too clever. I only let him out at night sometimes, when everybody's asleep. I say, I know that you're there, so don't be sad. And I put him back, but he is singing a little in there. I haven't quite let him die. And we sleep together like that, with our secret pact. And it's nice enough to make a man weep. But I don't weep. Do you? He was 65. His wife was 66. Had Alzheimer's disease. He had cancer of the mouth. There were operations, radiation treatments, which decayed the bones in his jaw, which then had to be wired. Daily he put his wife in rubber diapers like a baby. Unable to drive in his condition, he had to take a taxi to the medical center. Had a difficulty speaking. Had to write the directions down. On his last visit, they informed him there would be another operation. A bit more left cheek and a bit more tongue. When he returned, he changed his wife's diapers, put on the TV dinners, watched the evening news, then went to the bedroom, got the gun, put it to her temple, fired. She fell to the left. He sat upon the couch, put the gun into his mouth, pulled the trigger. The shots didn't arouse the neighbors. Later, the burning TV dinners did. Somebody arrived, pushed the door open, saw it. Soon, the police arrived, went through their routine, found some items, a closed savings account, and a checkbook with a balance of $1.14. Suicide, they deduced. In 3 weeks, there were 2 new tenants, a computer engineer named Ross, and his wife, Anna Turner, who studied ballet. They looked like another upwardly mobile pair. Hell is a Lonely Place, by Charles Bukowski.
I've never been lonely. I've been in a room. I've felt suicidal. I've been depressed. I've felt awful. Awful beyond all. But I never felt that one other person could enter that room and cure what was bothering me. Or that any number of people could enter that room.
Born like this, into this, as the chalk faces smile, as Mrs. Death laughs, as political landscapes dissolve, as the oily fish spit out their oily prey. We are born like this, into hospitals which are so expensive that it's cheaper to die, into lawyers who charge so much it's cheaper to plead guilty, into a country where the jails are full and the madhouses closed, into a place where the masses elevate fools into rich heroes. Born into this, walking and living through this, dying because of this, castrated, debauched, disinherited because of this. The fingers reach toward an unresponsive God. The fingers reach for the bottle, the pill, the powder. We are born into this sorrowful deadliness. There will be open and unpunished murder in the streets. It will be guns and roving mobs, Land will be useless. Food will become a diminishing return. Nuclear power will be taken over by the many. Explosions will continually shake the earth. Radiated men will eat the flesh of radiated men. The rotting bodies of men and animals will stink in the dark wind. And there will be the most beautiful silence never heard. Born out of that, the sun hidden there, awaiting the next chapter.
So Now, by Charles Bukowski. The words have come and gone. I sit ill. The phone rings. The cat sleeps. Linda vacuums. I am waiting to live, waiting to die. I wish I could ring in some bravery. It's a lousy fix. But the tree outside doesn't know. I watch it moving with the wind in the late afternoon sun. There's nothing to declare here. Just a waiting. Each faces it alone. Oh, I was once young. Oh, I was once unbelievably young. If you're going to try, go all the way. Otherwise, don't even start. If you're going to try, go all the way. This could mean losing girlfriends, wives, relatives, jobs, and maybe your mind. Go all the way. It could mean not eating for 3 or 4 days. It could mean freezing on a park bench. It could mean jail. It could mean derision, mockery, isolation. Isolation is the gift. All the others are a test of your endurance, of how much you really want to do it. And you'll do it, despite rejection and the worst odds. And it will be better than anything else you can imagine. If you're going to try, go all the way. There is no other feeling like that. You will be alone with the gods, and the nights will flame with fire. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. All the way. All the way. You will ride life straight to perfect laughter. It's the only good fight there is. The Secret of My Endurance by Charles Bukowski. I still get letters in the mail, mostly from cracked up men in tiny rooms with factory jobs, or no jobs who are living with whores, or no woman at all. No hope, just booze and madness. Most of their letters are on lined paper, written with an unsharpened pencil, or in ink in tiny handwriting that slants to the left, and the paper is often torn, usually halfway up the middle. And they say they like my stuff. I've written from where it's at, and they recognize that. Truly, I've given them a second chance, some recognition of where they're at. It's true, I was there, worse off than most of them. But I wonder if they realize where their letters arrive. Well, they're dropped into a box behind a 6-foot hedge with a long driveway leading to a 2-car garage, rose garden, fruit trees, animals, a beautiful woman. Mortgage about half paid after a year. A new car. Fireplace with a green rug 2 inches thick. With a young boy to write my stuff now. I keep him in a 10-foot cage with a typewriter. Feed him whiskey and raw horse. Belt him pretty good 3 or 4 times a week. I'm 59 years old now, and the critics say my stuff is getting better than ever. So, You Want to Be a Writer by Charles Bukowski. If it doesn't come bursting out of you, in spite of everything, don't do it. Unless it comes unasked out of your heart and your mind and your mouth and your gut, don't do it. If you have to sit up for hours staring at your computer screen or hunched over your typewriter, searching for words, don't do it. If you're doing it for money or fame, don't do it. If you're doing it because you want women in your bed, don't do it. If you have to sit there and rewrite it again and again, don't do it. If it's hard work, just thinking about doing it, don't do it. If you're trying to write like somebody else, forget about it. If you have to wait for it to roar out of you, then wait. Patiently. If it never does roar out of you, do something else. If you first have to read it to your wife or your girlfriend or your boyfriend or your parents or to anybody at all, you're not ready. Don't be like so many writers. Don't be like so many thousands of people who call themselves writers. Don't be dull and boring and pretentious. Don't be consumed with self-love. The libraries of the world have yawned themselves asleep over your kind. Don't add to that. Don't do it. unless it comes out of your soul like a rocket. Unless being still would drive you to madness or suicide or murder. Don't do it. Unless the sun inside you is burning your gut. Don't do it. When it is truly time, if you have been chosen, it will do it by itself. And then it will keep on doing it until you die. Or it dies in you. There is no other way. And there never was.
You know, and I know, and thee know. That as a yellow shade rips, as the cat leaps wild-eyed, as the old bartender leans on the wood, as the hummingbird sleeps, you know, and I know, and thee know. As the tanks practice on false battlefields, as your tires work the freeway, as a midget drunk on cheap bourbon cries alone at night, as the bulls are carefully bred for the matadors, as the grass watches you and the trees watch you, as the sea holds creatures vast and true, you know, and I know, and thee know. The sadness and the glory of two slippers under a bed. The ballet of your heart dancing with your blood. Young girls of love who will someday hate their mirrors. Overtime in hell. Lunch with sick salad. You know, and I know, and thee know. The end as we know it now, it seems such a lousy trick after the lousy agony. But you know, and I know, and thee know. The joy that sometimes comes along out of nowhere, rising like a falcon moon across the impossibility. You know, and I know, and thee know. The cross-eyed craziness of total elation. We know that we have finally not been cheated. You know, and I know, and thee know. As we look at our hands, our feet, our lives, our way, the sleeping hummingbird, the murdered dead of armies, the sun that eats you as you face it. You know, and I know, and thee know. We will defeat death.
We had goldfish, and they circled around and around in the bowl on the table near the heavy drapes covering the picture window. And my mother, always smiling, wanting us all to be happy, told me, "Be happy, Henry." And she was right. It's better to be happy if you can. But my father continued to beat her and me several times a week, while raging inside his 6'2" frame, because he couldn't understand what was attacking him from within. My mother, poor fish, wanting to be happy, beaten 2 or 3 times a week, telling me to be happy. Henry, smile. Why don't you ever smile? And then she would smile to show me how, and it was the saddest smile I ever saw. One day, the goldfish died, all 5 of them. They floated on the water on their sides, their eyes still open. And when my father got home, he threw them to the cat. They're on the kitchen floor. And we watched as my mother smiled.
You're not afraid about death?
No. In fact, I almost feel good at the approach of death.
Why? You have a nice wife.
All that's okay. But you see, as you live many years, things take on a repeat. Is that ended? Are you ended?
No, it's okay.
Things take on a repeat. You understand? You keep seeing the same thing over and over again. The same substance, the same action, the same reaction. So you get a little bit tired of life. So as death comes, you almost say, okay, baby, it's time. It's good. So I know I have very little fear of death. In fact, I almost welcome it.
Did you ever read Malcolm Lowry's Under the Volcano?
Yeah, I did, and I yawned myself to shit.
Why?
Why? Because, like any other writer, there's no pace, there's no quickness in his lines. There's no life, there's no sunlight. When you write, your words must go like this. Bim, 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 bim. Each line must be full of a delicious little juice, flavor. They must be full of power. They must make you like to turn a page. Bim, bim, bim. What these guys do, they say, well, in blah, 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 da, 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 there was a porch chair. The flies were walking around. You see, they're too leisurely. They're setting up the scene for the grand emotion. And when they get to the grand emotion, there isn't any. This is a different age. It's the atomic age. Each line must have its own power, its own feeling, its own juice, its own flavor. Writing must never be boring. It must not bore the reader, the writer. It must not bore anybody. You have to have juice in each line, don't you see? You don't believe me, but I'm trying to tell you. I get so... Writers put me to sleep. They always did. They always will. Each line must be an entity unto itself, but must carry its own, like a voltage juice. You can't say, Mrs. McGillicuddy was sitting in her chair. It was 3:30 p.m. on a southern morning in Georgia. Mr. McGillicuddy was... This is all, it's already dead, you see. You must say, the thing.
But he died from alcohol. You're not afraid of...
What, you thinking of Faulkner?
No,
He was one of the worst practitioners.
Of course, but now I'm talking about Lowry. He died from alcohol. You're not afraid
Lowry.
of...
Oh, yeah. Well, it's nice to die of alcoholism. It's very glorious. But if you write dull shit, it doesn't do any good what you die from. You see? Alcohol is not a great thing. Because you die from alcohol doesn't mean you're any good. You got to leave some words behind. He died swallowing his own vomit. Great. Now, he's not even a professional drunk. When I really have a big drunk, I put my head on the side of the mattress and let it like this. So if I vomit, it's just going to go to the floor. This man's not even a fucking professional drunk. Besides that, it's bad, dull writing. Next question. For Christ's sake, do you have another question? Drink some more scotch, motherfucker. It'll cheer you up. Enjoy yourself, man. Forget there's an interview. I like you as a person, by the way. My buddy, the Dutch interviewer from Belgium. Yes. We're tough men together through the horrors of life. You don't see them often. For wherever the crowd is, they are not. These odd ones, not many. But from them come the few good paintings, the few good symphonies, the few good books and other works. And from the best of the strange ones, perhaps nothing. They are their own paintings, their own books, their own music, their own work. Sometimes I think I see them. Say, a certain old man sitting on a certain bench in a certain way. Or a quick face going the other way in a passing automobile. Or there's a certain motion of the hands of a bag boy or a bag girl while packing supermarket groceries. Sometimes it is even somebody you've been living with for some time. You will notice a lightning quick glance, never seen from them before. Sometimes you will only note their existence suddenly in vivid recall, some months, some years after they are gone. I remember such a one. He was about 20 years old, drunk at 10 a.m. Staring into a cracked New Orleans mirror. Face dreaming against the walls of the world. Where did I go?
Dreamlessly, from burning in water, drowning in flame. By Charles Bukowski. Old, grey-haired waitresses in cafes at night have given it up. And as I walk down sidewalks of light and look into windows of nursing homes, I can see that it is no longer with them. I see people sitting on park benches, and I can see by the way they sit and look that it is gone. I see people driving cars, and I see by the way they drive their cars that they neither love nor are loved, nor do they consider sex. It is all forgotten, like an old movie. I see people in department stores and supermarkets, walking down aisles, buying things, and I can see by the way their clothing fits them, and by the way they walk, and by their faces and their eyes, that they care for nothing, and that nothing cares for them. I can see 100 people a day who have given up entirely. If I go to a racetrack or a sporting event, I can see thousands that feel for nothing or no one, and get no feeling back. Everywhere I see those who crave nothing but food, shelter, and clothing. They concentrate on that dreamlessly. I do not understand why these people do not vanish. I do not understand why these people do not expire, why the clouds do not murder them, or why the dogs do not murder them, or why the flowers and the children do not murder them. I do not understand. I suppose they are murdered, yet I can't adjust to the fact of them, because there are so many. Each day, each night, there are more of them. In the subways and in the buildings and in the parks, they feel no terror at not loving and not being loved. So many, many of my fellow creatures. Dreamlessly, from burning in water, drowning in flame. By Charles Bukowski.
People are pointless. This is Charles Bukowski. Well, just let me sit here and drink beer. You want some poems? Beg me. Amplitude, do you hear me? All right. I look good? That's better. Okay, let's get started. What the hell? Come on. Let's collect our money and get the hell out of here and really make it. Number one, the rat. With one punch, at the age of 16 and a half, I knocked out my father. A shiny bastard with bad breath. I didn't go home for some time, only now and then to try to get $1 from dear mama. It was 1937 in Los Angeles, and it was after the end. I ran with these older guys, but for them it was the same. Mostly breathing hard air and robbing gas stations that didn't have any money. And a few lucky among us were part-time as Western Union messenger boys. We slept in rented rooms that weren't rented. And we drank ale and wine with the shades down, being quiet. And then awakening the whole building with a fist fight, breaking beers and chairs and lamps, then running down the stairway just before the police arrived. Some of us soldiers of the future, running through those empty, starving streets and alleys of Los Angeles. And all of us getting together later in Pete's room, a small cube of space under a stairway. There we were, packed in there, without women, without cigarettes, without anything to drink, while the rich pawed away at their many choices, and the young girls left them, the same girls who spit at our shadows as we walked past. It was a hell of a Vienna. 3 of us under that stairway were killed in World War II. Another one is now a manager of a mattress factory. Me, I'm 30 years older. The town is 4 or 5 times as big, but just as rotten. And the girls still spit on my shadow. Another woman is building for another reason. I can hardly get a job now for the same reason I couldn't then. I don't know anything. I can't do anything. Sex? Well, just the old ones knock on my door after midnight. I can't sleep, and they see the lights and are curious. The old ones. Their husbands no longer want them. Their children are gone. If they show me enough good leg, the legs go last. I go to bed with them. So the old women bring me love, and I smoke their cigarettes as they talk. And then we go to bed again, and I bring them love. And they feel good and talk until the sun comes up, and we sleep. It's a curse. Look, he told me, all those little children dying in the trees. And I said, what? And he said, look. And I went to the window, and sure enough, here they were hanging in the trees, dead and dying. And I said, what does it mean? And he said, I don't know, it's authorized. The next day I got up and they had dogs in the trees, dead and hanging and dying. And I turned to my friend and I said, what does it mean? And he said, don't worry about it. It's a way of things. They took a vote. It was decided. And the next day it was cats. I don't see how they caught all those cats so fast and hung them in the trees, but they did. And the next day it was horses, and that wasn't so good because many branches broke. Branches broke. And after bacon and eggs the next day, my friend pulled his pistol on me across the coffee and said, let's go. And we went outside. And here were all these men and women in the trees, most of them dead or dying. And he got the rope ready, and I said, what does it mean? And he said, it's authorized, constitutional, it passed the majority. And he tied my hands behind my back, then opened the noose. I don't know who's going to hang me, he said, when I get done with you. I suppose when it finally works down, there'll be just one left and he'll have to hang himself. Suppose he doesn't, I asked. He has to, he said, it's authorized. Oh, I said, well, let's get on with it. Man mowing the lawn across the way from me. I watch you walking with your machine. Ah, you're too stupid to be cut down. You're too stupid to let anything enter you. The girls can't use their knives on you. They don't even want to. All their sharpness is wasted on you. You're interested in baseball games and Western movies and grass blades. Can't you just take one of my knives? Here's an old one, stuck into me in 1955. She's dead now, it wouldn't hurt much. I wouldn't give you this last one, I can't pull it out yet. But here's one from 1964. How about taking this 1964 one from me? Man mowing the lawn across the way from me. Don't you have a knife in your gut where love left you? Man mowing the lawn across the way from me. Don't you have a knife in your heart where love left you? Man mowing the lawn across the way from me. Don't you see the young girls walking down the sidewalks with the knives in their purses? Don't you see their beautiful asses and knees and ankles and eyes and dresses and motions? Man mowing the lawn across the way from me. Is that all you see, those grass blades? Is that all you hear, the turning of the mower? I can see all the way to Italy, to Japan, to the Honduras. I can see the young girls sharpening their knives in the morning and at noon and at night, and especially at night. Oh, especially at night. Some of these poems are serious, and I have to apologize for those because I know most crowds don't like serious poems. But I gotta give you some now and then to show that I'm really not a beer drinking machine. Yeah, okay. I'm begging the question, forget it. The last days of the suicide kid. I can see myself now, after all these suicide days and nights, being wheeled out of one of these sterile rest homes. Of course, this is only if I get famous and lucky, by a subnormal and bored nurse. There I am, sitting upright in my wheelchair, almost blind, eyes rolling backward into the dark part of my skull, looking for the mercy of death. Isn't it a lovely day, Mr. Bukowski? Oh, yeah. The children walk past and I don't even exist. And the lovely women walk by with big hot hips and warm buttocks and tight hot everything, praying to be loved, and I don't even exist. It's the first sunlight we've had in 3 days, Mr. Bukowski. Oh, yeah. There I am, sitting upright in my wheelchair, myself whiter than a sheet of paper, bloodless, brain gone, gamble gone, me, Bukowski gone. Isn't it a lovely day, Mr. Bukowski? Oh, yeah. Pissing in my pajamas, slop drooling out of my mouth. 2 young schoolboys run by. Hey, did you see that old guy? Christ, yes, he makes me sick. After all the threats to do so, somebody else has committed suicide for me, at last. The nurse stops the wheelchair, breaks a rose from a nearby bush, puts it in my hand. I don't even know what it is. It might as well be my pecker for all the good it does. Of course, that's never gonna happen, you know.
The problem was you had to keep choosing between one evil or another. And no matter what you chose, they sliced a little bit more off you, until there was nothing left. At the age of 25, most people were finished. A whole goddamn nation of assholes driving automobiles, eating, having babies, doing everything in the worst possible way. Like voting for the presidential candidates who reminded them most of themselves. I had no interests. I had no interest in anything. I had no idea how I was going to escape. At least the others had some taste for life. They seemed to understand something that I didn't understand. Maybe I was lacking. It was possible. I often felt inferior. I never met another man I'd rather be. And even if that's a delusion, it's a lucky one. I just wanted to get away from them. But there was no place to go.
Be Kind by Charles Bukowski. We are always asked to understand the other person's viewpoint, no matter how outdated, foolish, or obnoxious. One is asked to view their total error, their life waste, with kindliness, especially if they are aged. But age is the total of our doing. They have aged badly because they have lived out of focus. They have refused to see. Not their fault. Whose fault? Mine? I am asked to hide my viewpoint from them for fear of their fear. Age is no crime, but the shame of a deliberately wasted life. Among so many deliberately wasted lives is, I've either had a family, a job. Something has always been in the way. But now, I've sold my house. I found this place, a large studio. You should see the space and the light. For the first time in my life, I'm going to have a place and the time to create. No, baby. If you're going to create, you're going to create whether you work 16 hours a day in a coal mine, or you're going to create in a small room with 3 children while you're on welfare. You're going to create with part of your mind and your body blown away. You're going to create blind, crippled, demented. You're going to create with a cat crawling up your back while the whole city trembles in earthquake, bombardment, flood, and fire. Baby, air and light and time and space have nothing to do with it. And don't create anything except maybe a longer life. to find new excuses for.
Invent yourself and then reinvent yourself. Don't swim in the same slough. Invent yourself and then reinvent yourself, and stay out of the clutches of mediocrity. Invent yourself and then reinvent yourself. Change your tone and shape so often that they can never categorize you. Reinvigorate yourself and accept what is, but only on the terms that you have invented and reinvented. Be self-taught and reinvent your life because you must. It is your life, and its history and the present belong only to you.
Rain, a symphony orchestra. There is a thunderstorm. They are playing a Wagner overture. And the people leave their seats under the trees and run inside to the pavilion. The women giggling, the men pretending calm. Wet cigarettes being thrown away. Wagner plays on. And then they are all under the pavilion. The birds even come in from the trees and enter the pavilion. Then it is the Hungarian Rhapsody No. 2 by Liszt. And it still rains, but look. One man sits alone in the rain, listening. The audience notices him. They turn and look. The orchestra goes about its business. The man sits in the night in the rain, listening. There's something wrong with him, isn't there? He came to hear the music.
Inspiration from, alcohol.
Yeah. I never write without it.
You drink a lot?
Too much.
Too much.
Yeah.
But what do you drink when you're writing? Beer,
Just wine.
whiskey, wine.
Whiskey doesn't work because you get drunk too fast. On beer, wine, you can go on for hours, Whiskey, hour and 10 minutes, you're finished. Your writing gets bad or over dramatic, gets shitty. So wine is best. Red wine.
But you're drinking when you're writing?
Yeah.
Or you're writing when you're drinking?
Well, often, I don't know. Well, should we go in there? Yeah.
Dinosauria We by Charles Bukowski. Born like this, into this, as the chalk faces smile, as Mrs. Death laughs, as the elevators break, as political landscapes dissolve, as the supermarket bag boy holds a college degree, as the oily fish spit out their oily prey, as the sun is masked. We are born like this, into these carefully mad wars, into the sight of broken factory windows of emptiness, into bars where people no longer speak to each other, into fistfights that end as shootings and knifings, born into this, into hospitals which are so expensive that it's cheaper to die, into lawyers who charge so much it's cheaper to plead guilty, into a country where the jails are full and the madhouses closed, into a place where the masses elevate fools into rich heroes, born into this, walking and living through this, dying because of this, muted because of this, castrated, debauched, disinherited because of this, fooled by this, used by this, pissed on by this, made crazy and sick by this, made violent, made inhuman by this. The heart is blackened, the fingers reach for the throat, the gun, the knife, the bomb. The fingers reach toward an unresponsive God. The fingers reach for the bottle, the pill, the powder. We are born into this sorrowful deadliness. We are born into a government 60 years in debt. That soon will be unable to even pay the interest on that debt, and the banks will burn. Money will be useless. There will be open and unpunished murder in the streets. It will be guns and roving mobs. Land will be useless. Food will become a diminishing return. Nuclear power will be taken over by the many. Explosions will continually shake the earth. Radiated robot men will stalk each other. The rich and the chosen will watch from space platforms. Dante's Inferno will be made to look like a children's playground. The sun will not be seen, and it will always be night. Trees will die. All vegetation will die. Radiated men will eat the flesh of radiated men. The sea will be poisoned. The lakes and rivers will vanish. Rain will be the new gold. The rotting bodies of men and animals will stink in the dark wind. And the space platforms will be destroyed by attrition. And the petering out of supplies, the natural effect of general decay. And there will be the most beautiful silence never heard. Born out of that. The sun still hidden there, awaiting the next chapter.